Hello and welcome to the White Collar Fitness Radio, the ultimate podcast for professionals striving to achieve optimal performance in today's fast-paced age. I'm your host, Bruno Dalladoni, online body transformation specialist and founder of the Health Coach Fitness. I'm here to help you optimize your health and fitness, even if you're short on time. Okay guys, so today we're going to be discussing morning routines for improved recovery. So we need 4 things really to make an effective morning routine that will impact how we sleep in the evening and obviously subsequently how we recover. So the first one, and it's one that really gets dismissed and sort of we don't really pay attention to too much, is sunlight. So when we wake up, we want to make sure we're getting some sunlight in our eyes. Our eyes obviously have light receptors that respond to that, and your eyes are actually so clever, they can differentiate between morning sunlight and evening sunlight. So if you think about what we're really talking about is low solar angle. So if you think about when the sun is just rising and when the sun's just setting, the angle in comparison to the horizon might be similar, the same, but the color light, the wavelengths of light that get emitted from the sun are actually slightly different, and our eyes pick up on that difference, and they can sort of buffer some blue light, some harsh light in the evening, but in the morning, which is obviously what we're talking about today, it can massively impact how you come out of sleep and the energy you have for the rest of the day. It really kickstarts some of the processes necessary to get you going and keep you awake and make sure that your brain is really functioning. So it's one of those that, especially in the winter, especially here in the UK, sometimes can be quite tough to get, but making sure you get unfiltered sunlight in the morning. And obviously if there's cloud cover, which again, if you're in the UK like I am, there more than likely will be, just spend a little bit longer. So I said a second ago, unfiltered, and what I mean by that is what we're trying to do is avoid looking at it through glass, because glass will almost nullify the effects we're trying to get. So make sure you can actually stick your head out for a minute, whether that's, looking up at the sky while you're hopefully listening to this podcast on your way to work, or if that is actually just opening the window while you're in the office to be able to get some daylight. That will massively improve your cognition. The next one we're looking at is doing some morning exercise. So that doesn't have to be your main exercise, your main workout, as it were, for the day. But making sure you get the heart going a little bit is not the worst idea. And the reason for that is that as we wake up, our body obviously, as you come out of sleep, your body's starting to heat up. So when you go into sleep, your body temperature, your core temperature starts to drop, and then that obviously reverses when you're coming out of sleep. So your body heats you back up, or you wake up. And anything that we can do to almost just further those natural processes will make a big difference. And a little bit of exercise, getting the heart rate going, is a big one. So this, like I say, this doesn't have to be a main workout for the day. It can be a brisk walk to the train station. It can be a little bit of a morning yoga session, 10-15 minutes. Some stretching, some vigorous stretching. And just a quick disclaimer, when I say vigorous stretching, I don't mean go pinging your muscles anywhere or, twinging anything. If you can play your muscles like their guitar string, you're probably going a bit too hard. But just, moving from one position to the next with a little bit of pace, just to get some sweat going, get the heart rate up. All of those things are good things indeed, and they will help almost further that natural body heating, which will in turn sort of again wake you up a little bit more, get you a little bit more alert for the day. And also what it will start to help doing as we start combining these things together, what will happen is your circadian rhythm will start to regulate. So you can almost think of it as your natural body clock will start, your timer will start so that on the other end of the day, you can then sleep really nicely. Your body will be a little bit more ready to fall into sleep, to recover, to almost wind down. So we've got sunlight in the morning and a bit of mild exercise. Now, I will just say, if you work out, your main workout of the day is in the morning, that's absolutely fine as well, obviously. But, as I say exercise, I know some of you will be thinking, oh, damn, I need to work out, but I don't have time. Bah. So don't worry, right? That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, if you don't already, if you can just get a little bit of a brisk walk in, that will be absolutely fine. And that can be 5-10 minutes from the tube station, from the train station to work, or wherever you go, or from, dropping the kids off, whatever that might look like for you. Just get your heart rate up a little bit, and that will make a big difference. The next one we're looking at is obviously caffeine, because caffeine's your friend. And if you know me, you will know that there can never be enough caffeine in the world, ever. So caffeine, coffee, tea, however you ingest the good stuff, that's fine. Now, I will just preface this with, you may want to give yourself an hour and a half to 2 hours after waking up before you start drinking your coffee. And I know some of you will be screaming at your phones right now. But the reason for that is that you want to give your brain enough time to come out of sleep, enough time to get its morning processes going before you supplement it further. Otherwise, the caffeine you get just won't have the same effect, and you're more likely to have a bit of an afternoon crash. So make sure that, if you can, give yourself a little bit of time before you start drinking your coffee, that hour and a half or 2 hours, and that will almost improve the effects of the caffeine, improve the effects you get from the caffeine. So that's just a little tip there for you. And then last but absolutely not least is cold showers. Cold showers, ice baths. Sounds a bit counterintuitive, but this here has a few benefits. And we won't go into all of them to start off with. We won't go into all of them today. But what we will do is have a look at the two sort of main ones we want to get from doing cold showers or ice baths. So the first one is, it massively spikes your dopamine levels, which, without going into too much nerd about what dopamine is and does, is the shorthand form is, dopamine basically helps you pursue things, anything. It doesn't matter if it's a sandwich, it doesn't matter if it's training for a marathon, it doesn't matter if it's getting a new deadlift PB. Dopamine is almost the thing that generates drive, that then generates movement. So by spiking your dopamine levels and having a really high baseline throughout the day, it means that your day just flows a little bit easier. I know it sounds a bit weird and it sounds a little bit airy-fairy and a bit heebie-jeebie, but trust, this is revolutionary. Things just seem to flow. They just seem to be a little bit easier. Things don't bother you as much. You'll be a nicer person to be around anyway, and that's always a bonus. So cold showers, ice baths. Now I know that just sounds like most people's idea of hell, but stick with me. That's one. The other one is, obviously, you're doing a hard thing first thing in the morning before you do anything else. So you're already conquering something challenging, which just kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day. If you can do something that is this hard, because let's be honest, getting yourself in an ice bath or a cold shower first thing in the morning, 5-6 o'clock in the morning, whatever time you start getting ready for work, before you even have your coffee, like, what the hell, man? Like, it's not the easiest thing. So conquer the first truly difficult thing in the day. The rest, you're just setting the scene. Plus, you then get that dopamine boost, which means everything's a little bit easier. Well, you've got 90% there to having a good day, and it's not even 6 o'clock in the morning yet. So those are the big ones. Now, you're going to ask me how long you should do it for. And the real easy answer I can give is like this. Think about it. And I first heard this from Dr. Andrew Huberman. And it's like this. Think about it in terms of walls. Okay, so the first wall is actually turning the shower dial to cold. So that's the first one. Well, you've climbed over that wall. The shower's now cold. Hang in there. When you first want to quit, give up, oh my God, it's way too much, I'm done. Well, that's your next wall you've come to. Climb the next wall and aim to do 2, 3, 4 walls. Set yourself a target of how many walls you're going to climb for that session. It doesn't have to be excessive. It doesn't have to be silly, right? But just hang in there and do 2 or 3 to start off with. And it's enough. You've conquered something. You've done something, right? Doing those hard things will start to change how your brain processes information, which will improve everything. Everything will just become easier, which means you have a more productive day, which means you can switch off more easily at night. And then you've had your sunlight in the morning, which means you've started that circadian clock. So your body is getting ready to wind down in the evening.